Thank y'all.
For office, and if you honestly win the election, you will be punished.
To the media, when we decided, I'm going to let you know we decided not to answer any questions. That was Mr. Harris answering y'all those questions, so I respect y'all not to answer the media any questions as well. Just stick to your statement and be done with that. So we're not going to answer any questions because of fear and manipulation. So with that said, I'm going to introduce Ms. Olivia Pearson, City Commissioner.
Thank you, again, thank you, Mr. Worthy. To begin, I'm gonna fall back on something that Mr. Presley mentioned. He said that you stated that it had nothing to do with the group. Well, I'm not sure that you stated it didn't have anything to do with the group. I know just a minute ago, Jerry Hudson said it was mainly on Douglas Now, it was mainly about Bobby Worthy.
His article was.
Not quite. Supported by Commissioner Pearson. That's what he stated, yep. Which was a total lie because I had nothing to do with Bobby Worthy and Larry Neesmith. That was totally separable from this whole thing that you all have blown to hell, because that's what you've done.
Your name wasn't on that flyer for it, for the meeting, as a supporter?
Who held the meeting? You asked me a question. I'm asking you, who held the meeting?
I did, and he didn't answer it. Wasn't your name on that flyer?
I held the meeting. Sure, my name would be on it.
Well,
see, that's where you went wrong.
That's all we said.
No, that's not all you said. That's not all you said. You said supported by Commissioner Pearson. What was supported by Commissioner Pearson?
The meeting.
The meeting that I called, that's exactly right. I called the a meeting. Justice League did not call the meeting, first and foremost. They didn't call the meeting. I held a meeting through Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative for Economic and Social Justice. I invited Mr. Bobby Worthy and the NAACP. Let me finish, Mr. Hudson.
That was the point of the article. The mention of you.
No. You claim that the Justice League held this meeting, which was a lie. It was a lie. You said it, as well as the Douglas Enterprise said it. Justice League did not hold a meeting here in Douglas, Georgia. Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative held a meeting. I invited Mr. Worthy. I invited Mr. O'Hara as district rep for the NAACP. I invited Mr. Hal Presley. And matter of fact, I invited the entire community of the city of Douglas, Coffee County, Georgia. I announced it on my city council meeting. So why in the world tell me would I hold a meeting that's going to succumb to or support hatred towards white people or any other people? Why would I hold a public announcement of a meeting like that? I haven't been in office for 15 years to do something so low down and dirty. See, you had your facts, you had your statements incorrect. Had you all given us the respect and decency to come and ask a question, Luke, you were at the meeting when I announced about that flyer. If you have a concern or issue about it being to hate white folks or kill white folks, seemed like to me you would have had the courtesy, being that you were there, to have came to me, Commissioner Pearson, what is this about? But no, not one of you, journalism fellas or lady, I'm not sure what part you played in it, so if you did play a part, excuse that comment. Not one of you had the decency or respect to come to me as an elected official and ask the question, what is this all about? A decent journalist who is seeking the truth has a moral and ethical obligation to go and get both sides of a story and not just print one side and not just assume. And none of you did that. So yes, I feel my life is threatened with something like this. And you sat there when Mr. Presley asked the question, have you gotten any feedback from anybody? Nobody would say anything. You didn't answer it. But I already know the answer to it. You've gotten feedback because I've gotten feedback. I've gotten feedback from white people. I've got feedback from black people. And they're not satisfied with it, black or white. And they have all said to me, Olivia, we know that's not true. So some people who might not know me might not know. But those who know me know I wouldn't take part in anything that's going to deal with hatred or killing or anything in breaking the law. So on now today, you all want to come and be a part of this press release, this news conference on today, after you have done your damage. Because like I say, damage has been done. Because don't everybody know all of us and what we stand for. It's just the grace of God that those who do know us know we wouldn't dare partake of any such foolishness.
Amen. The Secretary of State and the Governor have made it very purposeful that they will send the message that if you are African American and if you run for office and if you honestly win the election, you will be punished.
And I feel like what you're doing is displaying what you have in your heart to print something like this.
Amen.
Yes. I can say to you, not one of you have ever had me to say anything racist to you, to say anything about hatred to you, in dealing with your media and dealing with me. None of you can say that I've ever said anything racist. If it's right, if it's a fact about what has happened, and it might tend to lean on one side of the color line or the other, call it what you may. But God be my judge. He knows my heart. And no, I wouldn't partake of anything such and dig and talk about the use of the Coley Center. Get the records about the Coley Center. You dig on and see what you find. If anybody got any money for using the Coley Center, it definitely was not Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson.
Right?
I have never used the Coley Center or any facility of the city of Douglas in an inappropriate manner. That's why I announced the meeting of that we were having on October 3rd. That's why I announced it at my city council meeting. And I said then, anybody who is concerned about the community and would like to help and take part, please come. That was my request. But you all are tending to try to divide this community more and more and more. I'm concerned as to who employs the Douglas 9 employees, as well as the Douglas Enterprise. What do these people stand for? I'm really surprised at this time. I'm surprised because your editors should have told you, go get the other side. See what they have to say about it before we print this.
Should have been fast-checked.
Thank y'all.
Evening. How y'all?
Good evening. Good evening.
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Libby, I didn't know anything about it. Johnny Roper was in Macon today.
Yes, sir.
And I met Johnny when I was 28 years old.
Yes, sir.
We were working on the campaign. I've been knowing him. I'm 66 now.
All right.
I can tell you about the trials and tribulations of politics when it comes to black folks.
Yes.
In 1974, I was the youngest black to be elected in Georgia.
Wow.
I wore a super fly coat, big brim hat, and platform shoes.
All right.
I played football. And football was good too.
Okay.
And I dressed the way the folks, black athletes, should dress. Love pretty women.
All right.
Didn't have no problem with that.
All right.
Go ahead, brother. But let me tell you what's going on.
Right now.
All right.
I am now the president of G.B.R.
You probably okay.
Yes.
You heard about Tyrone.
Tyrone.
As I always said, he's my good friend.
Yes.
But one monkey don't stop no shoe.
Okay.
I had my friends that said, Luke, you need to change the name. I said, when I was 24, I was a part of G.B.R., Maynard, Ed McIntyre,
All right.
Bobby Hill.
All right.
And so I'm still with G.B.R. We had changed the name, and we in good shape.
All right.
I have an attorney on retainer. Name is Wayne Kelly. I got a CPA.
Amen.
They're down the books.
All right.
And I file the taxes that have never been filed on G.B.R.
Okay.
My CPA said, David, you're late this year. I said, let's file it. And what we'll do, just wait to hear from the IRS as to what do we do. Because the law says you had to file a 990 EZ form, which basically said you're taking in money, who you paid, whether any officers got paid any money, what were your receipts and stuff. Things that have never happened all the time. And I thought we were doing it. I was a member, but I never got into the internal workings
Okay.
of G.B.R.
Right.
But let me tell you something. You're not the only one.
Yes, sir.
Y'all talking about folk. I marched the streets in Quitman, Georgia for the Quitman.
Yes, sir, sure did.
Yes, sir.
I came down to Quitman, Georgia. I heard about it on the radio going up the interstate.
That's right.
I got a hold of Tyrone, Robert Brown, and the rest of us came down to Quitman.
Helen Butler.
Helen Buck,
Amen.
Reverend Lyra.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We took care of business. And let me say, these were black women who decided they had enough about their kids not being educated by a majority white school.
Amen.
They ran for office, and at the end of the night, they would leave, but all of a sudden, they didn't win the election. So what they did, they used the system that's in place. They went out and gathered absentee ballots.
Absentee ballot.
Used the law. And at the end of the night, they were victorious.
Okay.
And then the Secretary of State sent his folks down there over to the sheriff with a warrant. They locked them all up.
I'm a witness.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we are not free.
Amen.
First of all, I'd like to say that we commend the Pittman team plus 2 for the way they handle themselves during this. The thing about it that was so beautiful is that it was all of us. And we had a wonderful team. Sister Lula Samard, Nancy Denner, Mrs. Simmons from Atlanta, and Attorney King. They made those people look like amateurs.
Amen.
Let me give you a little background. But I'm so thankful to the Pittman team plus 2 that they did not take a plea bargain.
Amen.
If they had been convicted of one crime, that would have been a felony on their records, and they would have been messed up for life. My prayer to God was total exoneration. innocent on all counts. And God brought us through.
Sure did.
I want to give you a little background. On December 2010, 10 citizens of Quitman, Georgia were arrested and accused of voter fraud. These citizens was arrested, unceremonially put in orange jumpsuits, their names splattered all over the newspaper, the television, the radio, and this was only an indictment. An indictment is only an accusation. But yet these citizens were presumed guilty before there was even a trial. Amen. And we must understand that every citizen is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. When they was arrested, we thank God for the community that came together. And the first meeting was held at Bethlehem Church. We thank God for Bethel for opening their doors. I was the pastor there. We also like to thank our good friend Floyd Rose. Stand up. God always have people in place when you need them the most. He is a stalwart in the civil rights movement. He knew what to do. He even named the Quitman 10. Amen. He showed us how to get this movement organized. And we thank God for him. He's from the SCLC. Amen. We thank God for them and Tyrone Brooks coming down and helping us. Also, during this movement, the NAACP was started here. And that was to, there might be future cases that might come up. And we'll have an organization in place to make sure we can handle this situation. Now, the United States Constitution guarantees each person equal protection under the law. The United States Constitution guarantees that every person of our nation is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The rights of these citizens were violated. Amen.
Yes, sir.
And what angers me so is the fact that Sister Latasha Head died with these accusations hanging over her head.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
yet there are still, with her, 11 people that still have to be tried. This case has been going on for 4 years.
Sir.
Now, you have to understand one thing, and that is, every person is entitled to a speedy trial. Their rights was violated. Now, why did it take over 4 years to bring these people to justice? It's because they didn't have a case.
Right.
Amen.
That's right.
They didn't have a case. They were hoping that they would take the plea. But when they didn't do that, they had to prove their case. And if you were in the courtroom,
That's right.
you would have seen one of the biggest fiascos you ever wanted to see in your life.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
The witnesses lied on the stand.
Yes.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation lied on the stand.
That's right.
Yes.
Falsified documents.
That's right.
Yes.
The Secretary of State lied on the stand.
Sure did.
Yes.
Boone from the post office, who started this whole mess, lied on the stand,
Sure did.
Yes.
all to try to make these citizens look guilty.
My Lord.
But thank God that we have a God who sits high
Come on now.
and he look
sir.
down.
That's right.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
Lord.
Lord.
That's right.
The sad thing about this case is Governor Deal,
Uh-huh.
who's the leader of the state of Georgia,
Uh-huh.
left the state capital
Uh-huh.
to come down here and suspend people who were elected to the school board.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
This election was certified
Yes, sir.
and without due process of law.
That's right.
Every person is entitled to due process of law,
Yes.
That's right.
but he's put it upon himself to suspend Dr. Nancy Denner, who has a doctor's degree,
Yes, sir.
Sister
Earned.
Diane Thomas, who has a master's degree,
Earned.
and
Yes.
Sister Linda Troutman.
Yes, Lord.
They treated us like, you got to excuse me for saying us,
Earned.
because I was just as angry as they were.
That's right. That's right.
Every citizen in Brooks County should have been angry
Upset.
Come on now.
Yes, sir.
for the way they treated our citizens.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
But yet many people didn't get involved because, number one, you thought they was guilty because the white man said they was.
There it is. There it is.
Come on now. Ooh, there it is.
That's all right.
That's it. And you're scared.
Come on now. That's it. That's it.
My question is, how are you going to get the horse back into the barn?
Yes, he is.
That's right.
These people's names have been tarnished, their reputation besmirched. They have been talked about, accused of different things. And now they are proven innocent. How are you going to get the horse back in the... How will you restore these people good name and reputation? How are we going to do that? We need to look at that and see what we can do to help them restore their good name. One thing that most people didn't understand, and I'm getting ready to close, were that when the G.B.R, the Secretary of State, canvassed the community, they tried to strike fear in the heart of the black community.
Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They didn't want you to vote.
That's right.
They especially didn't want you to vote absentee because those absentee ballots can be accounted for.
Yes, sir. Paper
That's
trail.
right. Paper
This
trail.
trial proved that there was corruption downtown.
That's right.
If it wasn't for the absentee ballots, it never would have been uncovered.
That's right.
Many people don't understand that when those incumbents were declared the winner that night and woke up and had lost the election that next day, it's because they didn't intend to count the absentee ballots.
That's right. That's right.
But God prevailed. Amen. The prosecution changed the wording on the ballots to prosecute Lula Smart. The language was not there in 2010. They changed it
My Lord, my Lord.
That's right.
on the ballot to make it look like she was guilty. The prosecution suppressed evidence.
Yes, sir.
They hid evidence.
Show they did. I'm a witness.
Amen. Show them. Speak it. Tell the truth.
I believe that we ought to demand,
Uh-huh.
as concerned citizens,
Yes.
that they drop the charges on every remaining member.
There it is. There it is.
What's so amazing is that Sister Dana and all of the workers on the pole had been trained.
Yes.
They knew what to do. But yet they tried to make it look like they were incompetent. But God prevailed.
Amen.
Few of the thousands of this trial, and then I'm going to sit down. And I don't know about you, but I got angry when I looked. I didn't even vote absentee ballot that time. And here come the G.B.R. and the Secretary of State knocking on my door.
Wow.
Wow.
But one thing that happened that most people don't understand is that you all shut them down.
Amen.
Amen.
You all shut them down. When you told them that we're not going to answer your question, we voted who we wanted to vote for, I did what I wanted to do, get out of my yard.
Woo, there it is.
We don't have to be afraid no longer.
All right. Amen.
It's so much I can go on, but I'm going to
Tell the
yield.
story.
Jesus.
I'm going to yield. But there were so many fallacies. And I hope and pray that we all learn a lesson from this.
Yes.
That we're not going to let anybody come in our community
No.
and disrespect our people. These were the leading citizens of our community that they went after.
Amen.
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 If the head falls, the body, you kill the head, the body gonna die. But see, they didn't know Nancy Denham. And Diane, Miss Troutman,
That's right.
and they didn't know.
They didn't know.
But I knew from the beginning, that they were innocent from the start. I don't know about you, but I grew up in the 50s. I was born in 1952. Amen.
Amen.
And I know the tactics of the other man. They'll do anything to win.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But I want to say to you and to all of the people who prayed and supported the Quitman team. I know some of you wanted to be there, but you had to work. I know some of you could have been there, but you chose not to. But thank you for your prayers. Thank you for just putting them up before God.
Amen.
And allowing God to use them. Whether you know it or not, God used them.
Yes. Yes, he did.
There was a gentleman that called me from San Francisco, and he said, "What in the world are y'all doing out there?" He got on our organization, NAACP, because they didn't come here. I'm angry because the president of the NAACP didn't show his face.
Tell it.
And I'm angry.
Tell it.
Now he writing all kind of articles. Want the Quitman 10 plus 2 to come up there and talk. Where was he when they needed him the most? That's a little bit of the history, and I'm going to close with this. The Get Out the Vote campaign of the Quitman 10 plus those who helped was the most brilliant campaign I have seen in my life. People voted who had never voted before in their life.
Amen.
People who couldn't make it to the polls. And they got beat at their own game.
Come on, man. That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
It was a brilliant campaign. It was well planned, well organized. And everything in their communities.
Of course.
So we say quit on 10+2. Don't stop doing what you're doing.
Right now.
We're fast getting a new council. I told one of the white gentlemen that he was wondering how did the mayor get beat. And I told him that everybody who touched the Quitman 10, we
Look
can
out,
go
man.
after. Amen. I don't know about y'all, but you ain't gonna mess with no.
This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Foster Rhymes, and I'm standing on the grounds of the Brooks County Courthouse in the state of Georgia and in the United States of America. As you know, starting last week, April the 14th, Lula Smart trial began after 3 years and 4 months. If you notice, in September of last year, her first appearance before a judge, a jury, and the state of Georgia prosecution ended in her first mistrial. During that mistrial, there's a lot of things that happened that you don't know about because it was never reported in the South Georgia News Media Network. For instance, we were not permitted to even record here in front of the courthouse. Moreover, we were not allowed to take cell phones into the courtroom last year, which was not a problem. That's not a problem. However, the judge, Judge Lane, scolded some people in the courtroom for using their cell phone when most people, everybody, we didn't have cell phones. But a sheriff deputy did have a cell phone, and of course he was texting in the corner. So there was many things that happened in this courtroom. We had the same postal worker who came and said that he didn't know anything about the Privacy Act and how he took ballots from the post office and took information from an official letter, letters, plural, and took them and gave them to somebody else and took them home, the addresses and stuff. But you don't know nothing about that because none of that was published into the newspapers or on television. And so I'm going to stop right there. Well, I'm going to tell you one more. There was a lot of things that took place in that mistrial. One lady, we were told, that was out raking her yards, and they would subpoena her and pull her from her yard to come testify. Moreover, you don't know nothing about the two people that were subpoenaed during the first mistrial who was on the witness stand crying because they were thinking about how the G.B.R. intimidated them during their question, and they had just lost a family member to death in their families. You also had the man, and they had actually escorted him out of that courtroom. But y'all don't know nothing about that because no news media reported that. And so, skipping right along, there was so much. That's why the Secretary of State, Eric Holder of the Justice Department, and people that are concerned with voting rights need to get a copy of the transcript of last year's mistrial and review it in order to help voting rights here in the state of Georgia. Now, to save time, some of the same stuff happened during this mistrial. Yes. But the reason I stopped by today is because I want to be brief, I want to be pointed, and I want you to know before I get into why I'm holding these newspapers, is that Pastor Calvin Benjamin and myself, we walked the streets of Quitman. I was in Atlanta on December 21st, 2010, when the Quitman 10 was picked up. But I was called, and you'll find this on my other video because I don't change it. They talked about how they were harassed, not the Quitman 10, but I'm talking about everyday common folk. A lady in Marvin, Georgia, 80-some years old, was so intimidated, she said she wasn't going to vote anymore. Over by Old West End Milling Company, right on down the street there on the right, I met two elderly ladies. One who didn't want to talk to us, but her neighbor across the street talked about how she was so intimidated. And to the degree, she said she would never vote again. And then Tyrone Brooks and myself, We walked down in old Slab Town. We walked over by where the educators live, by Old Washington Street High School in Booker T. Washington. And we interviewed people. We interviewed people on the street. We walked the street with then, he wasn't even a councilman then, James Brown, the new mayor now. We actually walked and we actually talked to people, and I got it on film. And we sent this information to the United States Department of Justice with Eric Holder for him to take a look at, and he did absolutely nothing. I didn't create this. I'm not lying. If anybody think I'm lying, then call me on the lie, and I can prove it by the witnesses that we have on video. And we sent it to the Justice Department. Now, I have been saying it for over 20 years. There is a system to destroy this nation. They want to destroy it by getting rid of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of religion. They are out to destroy our beloved nation that so many of our sons and daughters have died to defend over these many years. Now, can you imagine if our elected officials and our representatives and our Senate and the Georgia General Assembly are concerned about voting rights? How could it be in Brooks County that the Quitman 10+2 had to go through a court case, Lula Smart, and the Valdosta Daily Times, the only newspaper in Valdosta, on the 14th, Lula Smart could have gone to jail. The Quitman 10 case has reached national and international level. But on the Monday, nothing in the Valdosta Daily Times, our only newspaper. Tuesday, nothing in the the Valdosta Daily Times about them standing before a judge and a jury, supposed to be among their peers. You don't know that the jury makeup was on out of 200 people that was called for jury duty. We were told, and I counted the people, and it was a lot of them. And then they narrowed it down to 12 jurors, and only one black was on that jury. Out of all those people, out of a city where the population may be 65% black, but yet only one person was on that jury, just like it was before I had two blacks. And so it seems as if though they can sit in judgment of us, but we can't sit in equal judgment of them. Wednesday, April the 16th, seemed like with what took place in the courtroom, everybody in the Brooks County Courthouse was asking, where is Channel 6? Where is Channel 10? Where is Channel 27? Where is CNN? Where is Al Sharpton and others? But that is what we have to go through here in South Georgia. And not only the Atlanta Progress, none of the black newspapers was here. Anyway, let me go on. Thursday, intense trial. Nothing reported in Valdosta Daily Times. Citizens waiting to know what is happening about voting rights in the state of Georgia. But nothing was in that newspaper. And then again Friday, it was granted a mistrial. And I'm not going to get into it because you can find that already on this YouTube channel. I have about 20 videos I try to do every day because I'm going to prove by the other social media people that there is something seriously wrong here in the state of Georgia where we cannot find a newspaper that will tell the story that the American people deserve and paid by the service in the United States Armed Forces. I put 21 years in the United States Armed Forces, and yet I can say not one word was in the newspaper about that trial. Saturday, nothing in the Valdosta Daily Times, our only newspaper. Sunday, no front page coverage. People looking. Well, maybe they'll report something on Sunday in this big old thick paper in this little small metro city of Valdosta, but guess what? It's not there. Monday, today, everybody talking to me. Georgia, they put it over the front page about nothing about that Lula Smart trial to show that she got her second mistrial. And the prosecution for the state of Georgia said they want to know when, asked the judge before the case, the court dismissed, he wanted to know when can he call them back again so they can retry the case. And so the question must be asked, how many more tax dollars will be spent here in this little small southern town to try by these people. That's only one case out of 11 more. And while we're at it, originally there was 12. But one of the people that were arrested had lupus. And so I'm questioning, because I understand the lupus disease, I'm wondering if the pressure and the stress may not have contributed to Lakeisha's death because of the pressure put on her from this trial. That's just in my own head. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. And so I just want to say to you, you all ask me, why do I do this? It is because I love this country. I was born in Thomas County on South Spear Street. I went to school over here in Brooks County from the 1st grade to 12th grade. And then I went to Atlanta and I served in the United States Armed Forces. And I was told that we were fighting for freedom, justice, and equality in foreign nations, and as well as our right to vote. Now, I'm not going to get into what I feel about the absentee voting process, because I've already done that. I just want y'all to know that it's a shame that they are ignoring these, the 11 Brooks County citizens in the state of Georgia. It is as if though they don't count. It is as if though they don't want nobody to know that possible postal violation was committed by the Postmaster General employees at the Quitman Post Office, or that just maybe it was brought out in the trial about the Brooks County attorney who paid a private investigator to do what he did. And maybe there is other things that were brought up in that trial that the people need to know. And so I am sure that Representative Tyrone Brooks, Edward DuBose, and others will get the transcript and reveal it on a national level so people can see what takes place in courtrooms across Georgia that certain newspapers apparently don't want the general public to know. But if we don't find out what is the base of the arrest or indictment of the Quitman 10+2, the same thing could happen again. And the people who have trust in our form of government, let me repeat, the people who have trust in our form of government, their faith will be weakened. But I'm going to say again, I'm going to ask you an intelligent question. And I'm not that smart. I don't have a PhD, but I'm going to ask a question. Why? Why was this not news here in South Georgia? And why wasn't this news in the Atlanta Journal and Constitution? And why wasn't this news? Google it on the internet. But if they were found guilty, or if somebody had informed somebody that things were going against the Lula Smart in this courtroom, most of us said, even during the trial, they would have been here then. But I'm here, it seems like to me and others, that the witnesses for the state really contributed to the defense in this particular case against Lula Smart. Well, just maybe, we'll get justice. Because I believe the God of our ancestors is yet in control. And he is keeping watch over his own, as he said he would. And if we did not have a God on our side, we probably would still be on the back of the bus. Or we probably would still be under conditions that no human being would want to be in. And so we must thank our ancestors who fought for us to be free and for us to have our day in court. But in the end, regardless of what happened, right and justice will win in the end. I'm going to leave you now, but I want you to know that many people in social circles are using their media, they're using their cameras, and they are creating their own media source because they realize now that the newspapers, the television, and the radio are controlled. And if you can't see that, and if you can't understand that, then you probably is a little Satan yourself. But just remember, St. John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free. You cannot be free until truth comes. Until next time, peace.
These were black women who decided they had enough about their kids not being educated by a majority white school.
Amen.
They ran for office, and at the end of the night, they would leave, but all of a sudden, they didn't win the election. So what they did, they used the system that's in place. They went out and gathered absentee ballot. Used the law. And at the end of the night, they were victorious.
Okay.
And then the Secretary of State sent his folks down there over to the sheriff with a warrant. They locked them all up.
I'm a witness.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we are not free.
Amen.
I'm a witness again.
We are not free.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
When you talk about a black woman standing,
All right.
got enough integrity about themselves, can talk with kings and talk to peasants.
All right.
Okay.
They don't like that.
They don't.
They don't like it?
Now, I'm not saying all white folks are bad. I ain't
That's right.
saying
That's
that.
right. He ain't saying that.
There are some good
He
ones.
ain't saying that. He ain't saying
But
that.
let me say this to you. The system is changing.
Yeah.
See, Democrats didn't leave. White Democrats left the Democratic Party and became Republicans.
That's right.
And they started a mission. That mission was to destroy the Justice Department.
That's it.
And when we lost that case on Section 5, Southern legislatures put in place rules that made it harder to vote
Yes, sir.
and easier to get a gun.
Yes.
Better
Yes.
know it.
If you're a sheriff and you see a felon, you
No.
know he's a felon because you're arrested, and you see something buzzing out in his pocket,
Shoot him.
and you think it's a gun,
You can shoot him.
you can't shoot him. You can't go up and ask him, does he have a gun? The only time you can do something to it is when he takes the gun out and uses it and commits another crime.
Okay.
What they shoot?
Okay.
I'm telling you, these folks are very serious about taking away your right.
Right.
Amen.
That's it. That's it.
You see, they talk about us and voter fraud. Do y'all know how hard it is to get us to go vote one time?
Yes, I do.
One time.
Yes, I do. I did it for 31 years. Yes, I did.
So, you know they telling a lie. Because all the ones I've known that have gone to court down in Dodge County where whites paid folks to vote. And they made a case.
Been there, done that.
Even in Macon, Georgia, the man we got, he paid for it. They didn't do nothing about it.
All right.
Let me tell you what he paid them with. He gave them tickets to buy New Way hot dog. He gave them tickets to buy New Way hot dog and get them to the polls. But let me tell you something. We as a people have to come together.
Amen.
Somehow we have forgotten
Yes.
where we come from.
Yes, sir.
See, a lot of y'all are old enough to know how it was back in the day. And that's the reason you go and vote all the time, because you knew how hard they tried to make it for you to vote.
That's right.
And you knew how they talked to you.
Yeah.
Real nasty.
That's right.
And our problem is our young folks. Wearing the pants below their butts.
Oh.
And I'm in church. But I always tell them when I see them in the street, they all play ball with my sons. Mr. Lucas, let me get a dollar. I said, son, I got a lawnmower there, you want to work?
That's right.
Okay.
It's time out for giving kids what they want. And make them have to earn.
That's right. Amen.
You see, when I came up, the neighborhood raised you. If you went to Johnny's house, and Johnny got in trouble, and you was at the house with him in the trouble. Not only did Johnny get a spanking, you got one and hope they didn't call your parents, because you know if they find out you're going to get them killed.
Amen.
We got a problem trying to raise our own kids.
Scared of
Well, here we come to elected officials who make the law that you have to abide by
That's right.
and live by.
I'll get back behind.
And we have a problem going out the vote. We find an excuse. Oh, well, it was raining. I didn't have a ride. Too hot. Back in the 60s, I walked in Barber County down in Eufaula, Alabama. We were campaigning to get the first blacks elected to the legislature. Thomas Reed and Fred Gray. And happened to go in the courthouse. And the guys were talking, and I eased the book. They had a big book out there with registered voters. I eased it up on my coat and took it, got back in the car, and come back to Tuskegee. Didn't know that the white folks saw us and got after us and was shooting at us with a shotgun. But the reason I picked up the book, because there were folks voting who were 130 years old.
Wow.
They were voting dead folks. That's why we end up with the independent election in Alabama. I'm telling you that if y'all don't get off your high, you're not going to have any black electors.
Amen. They kind of
You're not going to have it. When we talk about the election and folks talk about Donald Trump, I am not mad with white folks. What we need to do is go vote.
Go vote.
Okay.
Because everywhere I go in rural Georgia, I'm going down the highway, I don't see nothing but Trump signs.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
And Donald Trump is saying what a lot of them wanted to say that this didn't say. He just fired the chairman of his campaign because the chairman of his campaign was cutting deals over there with Putin and them in Russia.
Wow.
He just fired him yesterday. But he hit the news. He wouldn't have fired him if it hadn't hit the news.
That's right.
You see, so we have to understand that in order for us to succeed, we've got to do it politically and economically.
Okay.
But politics is the main reason. Let me tell you why. You see, elected folks make policy decisions.
Yes.
Those policy decisions decide where the money goes.
That's right.
Whether they go to their community or
Okay.
whether they come to our community.
Okay.
And the only say that we as individuals have is to elect folks that represent us.
That's right.
Amen.
That's
And
right.
they're going to take after. I've been doing it for 41 years. And I hadn't seen any of them that don't act crazy. You all right when it's something that they need and you got what they need.
Okay.
Amen.
In Atlanta, under the Gold Dome, it's a vote. And I cherish that vote. Real good.
Okay.
And when I cut a deal where my folks going to benefit, and the only way I can get it done is because folks in their part are acting crazy, and they can't get the votes. And so when I give that vote, there's a deal being cut where some of us going to get some out of it. When I say some of us, I'm talking about those who are working. Not David Lucas, the politician. I ain't going to jail.
Amen.
I got too old.
Amen.
Look too good.
Go ahead and say it.
I'm going to stay out here on the street. We have got to stick together. We have the largest cadre of black elected officials in the country, in Georgia. And we'll fight one another. We've got a fine house, 2 or 3 cars, and have forgotten where we come from.
All right now.
We don't want to talk to those folks who were there and came up with us and weren't fortunate to make it over. But we want to look down.
Amen.
It's time for us to stand up.
Yes.
And it's time for us to elect black folks who are concerned about the least of these.
Yes. Yes.
I walked in the church and I looked up on the podium, and I call it Marcus back during the day. We grew up, Marcus had how to make a joy.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Now he's a minister.
Amen.
I didn't follow that. But that's okay. I always wanted to be a blues singer, so I stayed in the clubs all the time. But let me tell you this. I heard y'all say y'all cancel fish fry. Let me tell you something. You can't run campaign off the stuff that you ain't.
All right.
You need some dollar bill.
Yes, sir.
Fish fries. We used to have them all the time. Not only did we have fish fries and folks have to raise money because we didn't have a way to get any money. And the whites weren't giving us any money to run against it. So we did what we had to do. But we had a vote.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege.
Yes.
Because it is one that can be taken away from you at any time.
Yes.
You know, Reverend, there's a saying, even in the Bible. Ran across it. I think it's in Isaiah. Woe to those who decree unrighteous decrees, that right grievousness to which they prescribe, to take away judgment from the needy, and to take away from the poor what is right. To my people.
Yes.
Thus saith the Lord. And to pray on the widows and to cheat the fathers. So even in the Bible, it talks about the same thing that's going on right now.
Roger B. Tawney, a Southerner, reads a decision that says that Dred Scott, as a black person and black people generally, had never been, were not then, could never be citizens of the United States, and as such have no rights which white men are bound to respect.
It seemed as if though there was going to be some type of meeting, but now, since the people showed up, it seemed like people are getting ready to leave now. But we want to get them on camera. We're going to try to talk to them. It seemed like there's no end to the confusion that is happening in many South Georgia towns. Okay, would you explain to me again what you say about that sign tonight?
That's where they had the meeting for this afternoon.
It was scheduled for that after they had the agenda sign posted.
Posted for this afternoon.
And then this sign here.
This sign came up all of a sudden.
All of a sudden they brought this sign in.
And they did not notify the citizens in time.
Oh my goodness. So that's a straight violation of the law. Yeah. Thank you very much. What's your name?
Nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
They all told me that they were not going to open it because Mr. Moore told them not to open it.
They got a house going on. They over there to her house going on now. It's both constantly coming on out.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good.
I'm doing good.
Your people constantly coming
If
on
the mayor
out to
asked
this meeting.
the police to open the door, he should have opened the door.
That's right.
You asked the chief of police?
I asked the sergeant to open it. He said that he was told by the councilman, Mr. Moga, not to open the door for me.
And who is Ms. Moga?
Mr. Moga is the city manager, the city clerk.
Okay.
City clerk,
Thank you.
basically.
Thank you. And it looks as if though this is the mayor's office, and they seem to be.
This is the only place they get right now.
And they are changing the lock. Go ahead, brother. Tell me what you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, they won't let her in the other offices. They throw her out over there.
Right.
They put her in this place office over here. Now they're changing the locks on it. Now she can't get in there.
Wow.
Now they canceled the meeting tonight.
Yeah.
At the last minute. And
have you ever seen anything like this before, man?
I never. You know they arrested the mayor though.
Yeah, I heard about that.
For that disorderly conduct.
Yeah. What did she do? You know?
I don't know, but you know, disorderly conduct might be
anything. That's right. Anything.
It's a catch-22.
Right.
You know, unless you start cussing somebody or threatening you know, violence or something, that's different. But Linda ain't done nothing. Linda did not do nothing.
Why are you rating the state officials like the Secretary of State and the Attorney General and the governor? I mean, they got the same problems in Gordon, Georgia.
I don't know why we can't get no help. I tell you, I ain't never
seen nothing like this before.
Mr. Willie Charles, how you doing?
Yeah, he doing his job.
Don't take it personal, bro. We you know, we
how you doing,
understand.
Mr. Willie Charles?
That's right. All I'm doing is doing my job.
We know, we got you.
I hope you find a better one because you're a better man than this. You're a good guy. And you need to do that. I need to show you're a good man. You're much better than this, Mr. Willie Charles. Much better. I know it, but he's still a better man.
And we can't Governor Nathan Deal, Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, Attorney General Sam Olens. I just can't understand. Nobody in the state of Georgia will come down. And what are they waiting? Are they waiting for people to get violent? It seems like that might be what they're waiting on.
I don't know what they're waiting on either.
What do you think about it? You ever seen this before? What do you think about this?
I've never seen this in my life.
But what do you think about the mayor being arrested?
I'm shocked. I'm appalled. I'm embarrassed for Meigs. I love this place. I mean, this is a good place. And the people here are good.
But had you ever seen this before?
Never.
Never.
Never. And I've lived in the city majority of my life, and I still haven't seen it. Still haven't seen it. I'm very embarrassed for me. I'm embarrassed at the personnel, the people, and how they're putting people in bad positions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Once again, this is the little city of Meigs. I counted 73 people at one point. Some have gone. I started to leave too, but then this white gentleman called me over and told me to get a shot of the lock that they are putting on the mayor's office. First, they moved Mayor Harris out of the main part of the building, I understand, to the end office here at the end, and now they are putting a lock on this door. And I don't know whether the Thomas County Sheriff approves of this or not, but he was here a minute ago, some sheriff deputy anyway. I'm not sure, but I just want you to know that I can't understand how the Georgia General Assembly, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General Olsen, or anybody else could just allow this to happen like this. And I guess, and the thing about even more sickening is that there's no news media. Now, I'm an outsider, but I mean, they call me, and I care enough to be here, and I can understand why the news media are not here to report to the people what's going on. If somebody got hurt, nobody would even know what took place. Once again, I don't know. I just never seen nothing like this before. I really haven't. I've never seen it like this. Once again, this is the agenda for tonight's meeting. This is what was posted first, I was told. After looking down this list, I see where they have citizens' participation, and there are two people that were supposed to speak. But then I understand that a few minutes before the people assembled, they came out and posted this sign, which reads, "Council meeting scheduled for April 21st, 2014 has been canceled. We are not able to establish a quorum. The meeting is rescheduled for Monday, April 28th at 6:30. And this is the way meetings are conducted in the state of Georgia, and I can understand how Governor Nathan Deal and others in the capital governments can allow a dysfunction of governmental meetings that operate and facilitate the needs of the people. This is Meigs, Georgia. 70, 80 people was out here tonight. We got about 50 left. Some have started leaving. There are no news media here. I'm sure they knew it would be a high-profile case, much like the Quitman 10 plus 2 Lula Smart trial all last week. And yet no news media coverage. Not even the Valdosta Daily Times have reported to my knowledge about the mistrial. But this is what's happening in the state of Georgia. I'm wondering if this is the United States of America, or are we watching the first collapse of the last great superpower? It's on you, brother. What's up?
Here we are again. More taxpayers' money is being dispersed on private property. which we don't supposed to be putting gravel on private property, spending the city, the taxpayers' money. This gravel that we got two churches that we was talking on earlier, last month or this month. But this is something that the city can't do, and this is what I call bribery. The guy that owns this he's very prejudiced.
When you say prejudice, what do you mean?
He's prejudiced, and the only thing he wants is the blacks to live in his place and collect the money. He don't care about them, and he don't care how this place has been on caretaker. But this gravel here is some of the same gravel that the city paid for the churches.
Okay.
And all of this is bright.
Okay. Thank you very much. What's your name again, brother?
Calvin Eason.
Thank you, brother, man. This is the Ghetto Free Press. Today is February the 9th, 2016. I was called here in Thomas County, and I just got out of the courtroom, municipal, wherein the elected mayor of Meigs, Georgia, Linda Harris, was just put on a $10,000 bond for misusing a credit card that belongs to the city of Meigs, Georgia. Now, you all know that I have covered approximately 16 cities where black mayors in Georgia seems to be under attack. This is not a figment of my imagination. I only ask you to Google Boston G.B.R. If Mayor Linda Harris used a credit card without authorization, and if it is against the law, then she should fall into that law as far as punishment. However, first of all, people need to acknowledge, I have been informed that this mayor, number one, does not even receive a salary. We know that as a result of her being the mayor, she has lost jobs, she has endured pain and suffering, and therefore, I believe, in my most humble opinion, being a novice at this, when it comes down to Georgia labor laws, it seems to me that there should be or could be a law that forbids people from working the equivalent to slave labor. If she does not get paid, then that is kind of like the city of Meigs using a human being to perform services for which they are not paid. Now, if Linda Harris have not received any pay whatsoever since she took office as mayor, look at the hundreds and thousands of dollars that somebody had to post for her bond, and personally, I'm getting tired of it. I see this from Quitman, Georgia. I see this in Meigs, Georgia. I see this in Lumpkin, Georgia. I see this in Dawson, Georgia. I see this in Davisboro, Georgia. I see this in many cities across the state. And my question is, they are going to fill the newspapers up about her violating the law. But the question is, and I hope that somebody in the mainstream media here in the state of Georgia will ask a question. That question should be, how did Linda Harris benefit from what she purchased on a credit card belonging to the city, I'm sure? Then how did she benefit? I understand that she used it so there will be a Christmas party in Meigs for the people that live there, and I'm sure for the little children for Christmas. And as you know, many cities have Christmas parties. Now, if she had not done it, who would have done it? And if they had done it, she would not have had to do it. And we see the same thing in Gordon, Georgia. In Gordon, Georgia, there's much is happening to discredit Mayor Mary Ann Whippaloo. This is a pattern and this is a practice. Nobody will report what I'm saying, but I'm telling you this is my observation based on facts of what is happening in these little towns. This mayor have had to get a lawyer. The city didn't pay for her lawyer. In fact, the lawyer for the city are working against her, according to what they say and according to what I have recorded on video. So I came to Thomas County to sit in the courtroom to see what was going on, because I want you to know the rest of the story. I don't want you to just listen to the Thomasville Times-Enterprise and then get what somebody may be biased in, or watch the TV stations who will snip it and bite it. I want to show you in a few minutes the complete ordeal took place in the courtroom, which is not much. But then again, you decide. And then I want you to go to the videos and let these real world videos be your witness. Let it be your deciding factor if you think there's an asserted effort to circumvent the power of the black vote and blacks from holding positions of power in the state of Georgia. I ask you to Google the Quitman 10+2 that was put on under, was charged and for charge of 119 violations, only to have all of them dropped after 4 years. And it is indeed something that the American people need to look at, and you need to understand that we had to fight just to get a right to go to the bathroom. We had to fight to get a right to drink water at a water fountain. We had to fight to get a right to go fight in the armed force on an equal basis to whites. This is not me. Now, I'm criticized for telling you the truth, but all you have to do is check the archival record, and truth speaks for itself. Personally, I have known them to have approximately 2 years. I don't see any criminal behavior in this individual, but I do believe that they want to keep the old power structure the same. Don't get me wrong. Now, when I say the power structure, I'm not just talking about just white folks. I'm saying they want to keep either white people or black folk who, well, some people have a name for, which I won't mention here. But I'm saying to you that in the end, I am 100% certain that in the end, truth, right, and justice will win in Meigs, Georgia. We'll win in Quitman, Georgia. We'll win in Dawson, Georgia. We'll win in Lumpkin, Georgia. We'll win in Warrenton, Georgia. We'll win in Gordon, Georgia. We'll win in Hancock County. We'll win in Homerville with the voting rights problem there. We'll win in Waycross, Georgia. We'll win in Blackshear, Georgia. All these places, all of them, without exception, seems to be bringing blacks up on charges. And I'm not speaking what I don't know about. I'm asking you, look at the video and go to some of these meetings and see what is going on across the state of Georgia. And even the sad point about it is that Eric Holder, former Attorney General from the U.S. Department of Justice, he knew about this because Representative Tyrone sent this to him. Much of this information with the Quitman 10+2. Miss Lula Smart had a 19-day court case, the only one of the Quitman 10 that went to trial. Her first trial was a mistrial. Her second trial was a mistrial. Her third trial, they dropped all 30-some charges on her, and then the state dropped the other 119 from all of them. But yet those people's lives are put on hold, and then the state of Georgia say, we just playing a game. There's nothing to it. Now that is a disgrace on our government. And I'm gonna say it again. We had better wake up and understand that Jim Crow is at your back door, and it's time for you to get up into the realities of what's going on with all these elected black mayors and other black elected officials. Go to Douglas, Georgia. I didn't mention Douglas, Georgia. The commissioner in Douglas, Georgia. Look and see what the Douglas Enterprise, see what they did to her. And I guess the worst is yet to come. But in the end, truth, right, and justice will win beyond question. And if truth, justice, and right does not win, then God himself is a liar. This is the Ghetto Free Press. Bye-bye.
Roger B. Tawney, a Southerner, reads a decision that says that Dred Scott, as a black person, and black people generally, had never been, were not then, could never be citizens of the United States, and as such have no rights which white men are bound to respect.
If you read it, you can always find something in the Bible to talk about what's going on right now.
Amen.
Let me tell you something. Douglas County, they got a new deal going. In Macon, Georgia, they came up with consolidation. We were the majority on city council, and we were the majority on the county commission. And we got some handkerchief head folks that went along with them, took the money, got out there, and now they got the majority. Now we down there at the commission office fighting about our fair share of the tax dollars.
When you had the control.
When we had the control. So my understanding is, are we as black folks scared of power? Because when they get it, they show you how to use it.
Hello. Say that again.
When they get it, they show you how to use it.
They show you how to use it. They sure do.
Wait, what's wrong with us? If we participate in the political process, then we need to be involved. And let me tell you something. If Douglas Countyans get out and vote, they get the same figures I get when I'm running for election. How many black folks vote? Right. And see, when they know you're voting, they'll call you to the table to help cut up the pie. Because they don't want to be out of office. But if you don't show up, and they look at the numbers, well, we got to be bothered with them.
That's right.
That's exactly what they're saying. But y'all ought not to let these folks do what they're doing.
Amen.
I'll leave you with this. If you got a pencil, piece of paper, write it down. The word I call is Negroid. N-E-G-R-O-I-D. Jealous. J-E-A-L-O-U-S. O-L-O-G-Y. Negroid jealousology. That are black folks who are jealous of you, who have never done nothing. But the folks told them they were all right, so they want to get a pat on the back, so they'll cut you.
All right now.
And it happens in every community. It happens in every community. I call them jelly makers. See, when you make the tree bear the fruit that is down on the ground, and the folks didn't even come out there to help shake the tree, but they run around and pick up all the fruit and make the jelly. So what I'm trying to tell you, those that are jelly makers, look at it, grin, smile, and keep going. Because you got to have somebody that's going to stand up.
Yes.
You got to stand up in the political arena.
Yes.
And when you stand up, you shake the tree.
Yes.
And then you got the jelly makers who have not done anything. Come and get the jelly. We got to learn how to stand up and fight. And stop being scared.
That's right. That's right.
I hear folks talking about churches. Well, you know, it's non-profit. The church ain't took no stand. It's the folks in the church who took the stand.
Amen.
That's legal. So I don't want preachers to get mad talking about having meetings in the church. Because once upon a time, we didn't have nowhere else to meet.
But the church. But the church. Hallelujah. Thank you.
All our meetings were held at the church.
Yes, sir.
So let's not be scared and be intimidated by these other folks.
Amen.
I represent Hancock County, 85% black.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And now they took over and you got 3 of the other hue and 2 blacks. And they are weighing the folks out. They've had the Secretary of State down there. They took the folks off the books, rolled by the house and said that many folks can't be staying in that house.
And the police.
And the sheriff.
What? And the police too, yeah.
And they took them off the books.
Ain't that something?
We just went back to court. They put them back on. But guess what they were saying? These ladies, 70, 80 years old, this don't look like your signature, and you've been voting there since you were 22.
That's what they say. That's what they do. That's what they do.
I'm telling you, we got to vote, and when we vote, we got to vote down the ballot. Not only do we vote for the president, you got to vote for them other folks who gonna help the president.
Don't help the president.
You got to vote down the ballot.
Down the ballot.
And if we vote down the ballot, then we're going to be all right.
All right.
So I ask you, as Douglas County,
Coffee County.
well, Douglas, Georgia.
Yeah.
We know
We got you.
I ask you to talk to your friend. Pick up the phone. Call your neighbor. Get them to go to the polls with you.
Yes, sir.
And if they say they ain't got a ride, tell them you come pick them up.
Amen.
We have got to vote in this election. This election is not only for us, it's for the nation. If Donald Trump gets a chance to appoint 4 Supreme Court justices, the Voting Rights Act will be gone.
Yes. Yes.
And we will be back in the street fighting and riding and tearing up stuff like we did in order to get the right to vote. So it's not far-fetched.
Amen.
If you think you got something, you might have today and you might be gone tomorrow.
Gone tomorrow.
So I'm asking you all to come on out, support your folks in Douglas,
Yes.
and do the right thing.
Amen.
Do the right thing. When you find us talking about it, you talk for it.
That's right.
Because us are going to do it.
All right.
All right? It has been my pleasure to come down. I'm glad Johnny told me today.
Amen.
Had to change some things to fly down the road because I ain't worried about no ticket though. So.
Oh.
I got one you can play up.
I can't handle yours. I can handle mine. But what I'm telling you is we have got to be serious about this now.
Amen.
It is not a game.
It's not.
It is real life. And it's happening right here in Douglas, Georgia.
Yes.
Just like it happened in Macon, Georgia. And it happened in Gordon, Georgia. And it happened in Edenton. Black women. Mayor got elected, first black mayor in Gordon, Georgia. 3 days later, in that charge, our citizen group filed a petition with the Superior Court, and they took her out of office. Sure did. Took her out of office. She did nothing illegal, hadn't been indicted, but they took her out of office. And we had to go back and get her back in office. In Putnam County, the county commission was taken off the ballot because she owed some taxes. But she had already gone and made arrangements to pay the taxes. We had to go to court to get her back on the ballot. So it is not just happening in Douglas, Georgia.
That's right.
It's happening all over Georgia.
Yes.
And especially when you start having a growing black community.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So I beg you, I beg you to join together. Bring the folks in. Tell your friends, bring them and you pretty young ladies in here, go get them boyfriends, they're 18 years old, and tell them they need to vote.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
You can do it. You know, men like to be around pretty women. And so wherever the pretty women are, that's where the men gonna be.
Amen.
So if you give them an ultimatum, well, let me see your voter registration. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. And if he can't show you that, then you need to cut it loose.
Hey, all right now. Amen. I agree with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to come down. It is my pleasure to have served for 41 years in the Georgia General Assembly.
Amen.
But I'm telling you, it's not easy.
Amen.
It ain't gonna get no easy. And with all these fools out here like Donald Trump, who beat the Republican Party with all of their money, with all of their money, that tells you that Donald Trump is saying what a whole lot of them won't say, but hadn't said.
That's right.
So the same thing goes for folks in Coffee County. They are filling their oats. And they talk about immigration. Everybody over here immigrants.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody over here.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
And they talk about immigration, but they're the ones who put the laws in because what they have is a host passport because us don't pick the peaches and the pecans. No.
All right.
They brought them in. They brought them in. So I'm just telling you, this is serious business.
Yes, sir.
It is real serious business. And the only way to handle business is for us to go vote.
Amen.
Let's don't let it be an excuse that we didn't show up.
That's right.
Again, I tell you, if you got white friends, they vote for Trump, that's fine. I'm going to vote for who I want to vote for. Tell them that to them. But we got to go. We got to go. Or we going to be in serious
with bad shape.
Amen.
You're going to be looking crazy.
It's time for me to sit down. I really want to go sing, but I'm going to go ahead and sit down.
You want to what? Go sing?
Yeah, I sing the blues, though.
Oh. Let's give some blues a hand now. Thank you so much. Who was going to say a couple words? Michael, George?
You got to vote down the ballot.
Down the ballot.
You got to vote down the ballot.
Down the ballot.
You got to vote down the ballot.
Down the ballot.
You got to vote down the ballot.
Down the ballot.
You got to vote down the ballot.
Down the ballot.
And if we vote down the ballot, then we're going to be all right.
All right.
So I ask you, as Douglas County,
Coffee County.
well, Douglas, Georgia.
No way.
We good.
I ask you to talk to your friend. Pick up the phone. Call your neighbor. Get them to go to the polls with you.
Yes, sir.
And to say they ain't got a ride, tell them you come pick them up.
Amen.
We have got to vote in this election. This election is not only for us, it's for the nation. If Donald Trump gets a chance to appoint 4 Supreme Court justices, the Voting Rights Act will be gone.
Yes. Yes.
And we will be back in the street fighting and riding and tearing up stuff like we did in order to get the right to vote. So it's not far-fetched.
Amen.
If you think you got something, you might have today and you might be gone tomorrow.
Gone tomorrow.
So I'm asking you all to come on out, support your folks and others, and do the right thing. Do the right thing. When you find us talking about it, you talk for it. Because us are going to do it.
All right.
All right? It has been my pleasure to come down. I'm glad Johnny told me that they had to change some things to fly out of the room because I ain't worried about no ticket. I can't handle yours, I can handle mine. But what I'm telling you is we have got to be serious about this. It is not a game. It is real life. And it's happening right here in Douglas, Georgia. Just like it happened in Macon, Georgia. And it happened in Gordon, Georgia. And it happened in Edenton. Black women. Mayor got elected, first black mayor in Gordon, Georgia. 3 days later, in that charge, our citizen group filed a petition with the Superior Court, and they took her out of office. Took her out of office. She did nothing illegal, hadn't been indicted, but they took her out of office. And we had to go back and get her back in office. In Putnam County, the county commission was taken off the ballot because she owed some taxes. But she had already gone and made arrangements to pay the taxes. We had to go to court to get her back on the ballot. So it is not just happening in Douglas, Georgia. Right. It's happening all over Georgia. Yes. And especially when you start having a growing black community.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
Yes. So I beg you, I beg you to join together. Bring the folks in. Tell your friends, bring them in. And you pretty young ladies in here, go get them boyfriends, they're 18 years old, and tell them they need to vote.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
You can do it. You know, men like to be around pretty women. That's right. And so wherever the pretty women are, that's where the men gonna be.
Amen.
So if you give them an ultimatum, well, let me see your voter registration. That's what I'm talking about. And if he can't show you that, then you need to cut it loose.
Hey, all right now. Amen. I agree with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to come down. It is my pleasure to have served for 41 years in the Georgia General Assembly.
Amen.
But I'm telling you, it's not easy.
Amen.
It ain't gonna get no easy. And with all these fools out here like Donald Trump, who beat the Republican Party with all of their money, with all of their money, that tells you that Donald Trump is saying what a whole lot of them won't say, but hadn't said.
Right.
So the same thing goes for folks in Coffee County.
Amen.
They are filling their oats.
Yeah.
And they talk about immigration. Everybody over here immigrants.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody over here.
That's right.
Yeah, put it in.
And they talk about immigration, but they're the ones who put the laws in because what they have is a host passport because us don't pick the peaches and the pecans. No more.
All right.
They brought them in. They brought them in. So I'm just telling you, this is serious business.
Yes, sir.
It is real serious business. And the only way to handle business is for us to go vote.
Amen.
Let's don't let it be an excuse that we didn't show up.
That's right.
Again, I tell you, if you got white friends, they vote for Trump, that's fine. I'm going to vote for who I want to vote for. Tell them that to them. But we got to go. We got to go. Or we going to be in serious
With bad shape.
Amen.
You're going to be looking crazy.
It's time for me to sit down. I really want to go sing, but I'm going to go ahead and sit down.
You want to what? Go sing?
Yeah, I sing the blues, though.
Oh. Let's get some blues for hands now. Thank you so much.
What would you say your title is then? If I can, so I can put up underneath your name. Do you work for a certain organization or?
One of the hottest YouTubers in the nation.
Okay. So you have experience in, I guess, disruptive meetings like
yes,
this?
Yes, sir. You can ask me about that. Yes, sir. I know what's going on, too.
So obviously, not a normal meeting. So tell me just what you saw in there today.
Well, first of all, my name is George.
Yeah, tell me your name is spelled. Go ahead and get that out of the way.
My name is George Boston Rhymes, and I have a YouTube called Boston G.B.R. on YouTube. What I saw saw here tonight is nothing different from what is happening in Quitman, Georgia, what is happening in Meigs, Georgia, what is happening in Dawson, Georgia, what is happening in Davisboro, Georgia, what is happening in here, of course, it's everywhere that there's a black mayor in power. And if it's newly elected, this is what is happening. People think that this is isolated. It's not isolated. People are highlighting what is going on. Blacks who are elected to power are being taken out of power by changing even from a city-type government or a mayoral-type government to a city manager-type government. This is nothing new. We see this across the state of Georgia, so this is nothing new.
So what do you think about just the way it was ended and then restarted? Does that say anything about it?
First of all, the mayor has to, she must be careful. She must be careful in this regard. There are those who will push your button. There was so much animosity in that meeting as I filmed it, and you could see it. Therefore, she should have been, in my opinion, I don't want this taken out of context, but what she should have done, not to take it, she became frustrated, I think, because of the disorder. And so she said, I'm going to adjourn the meeting to get control, maybe before somebody get hurt. But the thing was, what should have been done was that she should have taken through the process, which was asking to close the meeting and get a motion and a second. That's just straight Robert's Rules of Order. But the point is that she was dealing with so much here tonight, and she was trying to maintain the peace. I see the same thing. If you go to my channel, Boston G.B.R, you'll see the same thing. They arrest the people, or up in Meigs, Georgia. There's a great fight going on up there. The Georgia Attorney General are aware of what's going on. It's not just here. It's around the state of Georgia. Everywhere that there is a black mayor, this is what is happening now. It's just straight talk. Now, you may not put this on TV, but this straight talk. Next question, my brother.
Mayor, would you like to say anything just about the state of this meeting tonight?
What he said is what it is.
I mean, I've told you a few weeks, you know, everybody's like, well, y'all are only reporting one side, so I've been trying to get your side. And
well, in my opinion, I think that what is happening, these mayors are under so much pressure. They damn if they do and they damn if they don't. Just that simple. I've talked to all these mayors. I'm talking to them. I'm visiting them. That's why I'm here tonight. I was called here. I wouldn't have known if somebody didn't call me. They want to see this government function like a government in the United States of America, not like in Russia, China, or any other. If the people voted her into office, she should have the power to govern like black folk have been sitting under white folk all of our lives. And it is indeed time now, according to the scriptures of Jesus, want for your neighbor that which you want and have for yourself. And if we have been always following white people, why can't white people follow Robert's Rules and Order and check the money? All people want to do is a tally on the money. This is nothing new. If you go to the Quitman 10, the Brooks County Board of Education, they want to know about the money. You go to Meg, the question is the money. You go to Dawson, Georgia, it's about the money. Everywhere you go, it's about the money. Georgia Attorney Sam Olson said what he wants is open government. He got the little red handbook that he give out. Well, I'm saying to Governor Nathan Deal, and I'm saying to the Georgia Attorney General, and I'm saying to Eric Holder, as we've said so many times, if he's not concerned about open government, then close the door and tell us we are not about open government. I mean, that's just straight talk. I am a retired military veteran. I served 21 years during the Vietnam era. And for me to see what is happening in the state of Georgia tonight, because I've seen so many other cities in Georgia, it's just about to blow my mind. We got people, when we go to war, we don't worry about no black and white. They want somebody to pick up that M16, go behind enemy lines and do what must be done. And that's what we do.
So can I ask you just a blunt question?
Yes, sir. Any question you want, brother, because that's why I was born into the world.
Obviously, you believe that there's racism here. Would you say it's
No, you didn't hear me say racism. You didn't hear that. First of all, that clarified.
Before, at the very start.
I didn't say no racism.
So you don't believe there's racism in Gordon?
There is racism across the world. in Palestine, in Israel. But I won't say it's racism here tonight. What I say is here tonight, in my most humble opinion, is a disrespect for a mayor that was elected by the voters in Georgia. And so that's what I'm talking about. Let's don't focus on racism, because if you focus on racism, then you get tied on the ism like chemists or biologists or all these isms and isms. But we don't want the isms and isms, we want to get to the race. And in the word race, you got ace. And if the people elected this lady, she is the ace for city government, that means we fall under that ace as we fall for white people ever since we came into this country in the year 1555 aboard a slave ship called Jesus, captained by one Sir John Hawkins, a slave trader.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Right.
I know you can't report it, but
I can't use all of it, but I mean, I'll use.
I doubt you're going to use any of it, but right here, I got it. And my people know I got it. It's going up. I got it. That's what I do. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The best thing you can have in your life, always remember, is patience. Patience and humility will carry you where nothing else will. Always remember. Don't let nobody shake your boat. As long as you know your boat is on the water, and you're in God's hands. Don't let that shake. I may get loud, but I'm just cool sometimes.
Amen, brother. Amen.
I know. Wait, I'm on camera with you.
Council,
So yes, I feel my life is threatened with something like this. And you sat there when Mr. Presley asked the question, have you gotten any feedback from anybody? Nobody would say anything. You didn't answer it. But I already know the answer to it. You've gotten feedback because I've gotten feedback. I've gotten feedback from white people. I've got feedback from black people. And they're not satisfied with it, black or white. And they have all said to me, Olivia, we know that's not true. So some people who might not know me might not know, but those who know me know I wouldn't take part in anything that's going to deal with hatred or killing or anything in breaking the law. So on now today, you all want to come and be a part of this press release, this news conference on today, after you have done your damage. Because like I say, damage has been done. Because don't everybody know all of us and what we stand for. It's just the grace of God that those who do know us know we wouldn't dare partake of any such foolishness. Amen. And I feel like what you're doing is displaying what you have in your heart to print something like this. Amen. Yes. I can say to you, not one of you have ever had me to say anything racist to you, to say anything about hatred to you in dealing with your media and dealing with me. None of you can say that I've ever said anything racist. If it's right, if it's a fact about what has happened, and it might tend to lean on one side of the color line or the other, call it what you may. But God be my judge. He knows my heart. And know I wouldn't partake of anything such as this that you all have intended to influence this community to believe. Amen. That's right. It's totally ridiculous. That's right. It's totally unacceptable. And we are not going to tolerate it. So now you want to go and dig and talk about the use of the Coley Center. Get the records about the Coley Center. You dig on and see what you find. If anybody got any money for using the Coley Center, it definitely was not Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson. Right? I have never used the Coley Center or any facility of the city of Douglas in an inappropriate manner. That's why I announced the meeting of that we were having on October 3rd. That's why I announced it at my city council meeting. And I said then, anybody who is concerned about the community and would like to help and take part, please come. That was my request. But you all are tending to try to divide this community more and more and more. I'm concerned as to who employs the Douglas 9 employees, as well as the Douglas Enterprise. What do these people stand for? I'm really surprised at this time. I'm surprised because your editors should have told you, go get the other side. See what they have to say about it before we print this.
Should have been fast-checked.
It should have been.
Should have been fast-checked.
And it's sad. It's sad because it's too late in the day with too much everything that's going on in our surroundings and our communities and our different states. It's too much and too late in the day to try to print something like this to make white folk feel that they need to go and buy guns, which was announced at a church meeting. Announced at church by a white lady that she needs to go and buy a gun because of this group that has been formed. And I suggest to the rest of y'all that y'all go by one is what she was quoted as saying. So if it's in y'all's heart to cause this kind of deliberate tension and division, you need to go check yourselves. They damage the community. You need to go check yourselves. God is not pleased. God is not pleased. When I chose to run for office, I found all kind of opposition. Some by black folks, but some by white folks. And ever since I've been in office, I've had to deal with you all saying statements that were not true, trying to blemish my name. So whatever it is you're seeking, I hope you find it. But I can tell you, my name is not going to be blemished because the people know what I stand for. When I talk to the white city employees, Commissioner Pearson, we know you're not like that. But like I say, my concern is the people who do not know me. Who do not know me. Amen. Because my mother, an honorable woman, who I got emails and texts from people telling me when I expressed what was going on my Facebook page, they said, we know what your mother stood for. We know she didn't raise you that way. But I'm wondering, how have you all been raised? Yes, I'm wondering today. I'm wondering today. Because somebody from the media should have had the decency to see the true facts so justice would be known and would prevail. That's right. This plaque, since you all say recent altercation shines light on new militant organization, that's what y'all said. That's what y'all said. And I'm trying to find out where's this militant organization at. Because it's not us. It's not us. Some of us can barely walk. We are elderly. Walking with sticks. But we are militant. Because we state what is the truth. We're seeking to make the community better, which is what I said at that city council meeting when I announced that meeting on October 3rd. So how did militant organization come out of it? It's wrong. The meeting I had, Southern Rural Black Women, has been here in Douglas, Coffee County since 1999. And I was asked to chair and lead this group. Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative for Economic and Social Justice. Not just justice for black people or black women, but it's geared toward women. Because women have had a difficult time finding daycare, someone to keep their kids so they can go to work, trying to finish and get a GED so they can get a good job. That's why this group was formed and has received federal monies and money from private groups to help people who are a part of this to better their lives. And you would take the meeting we held, which was hosted by Southern Rural Black women, and distort the facts. Shame on you. Shame on you.
This is the Get To Free Press, and we report what others ignore. This is your First Amendment right to know without whiteouts from a controlled news media whiteout network. And we are located in Valdosta, Georgia, and we are here to inform, educate, and persuade if necessary. Always keep that in mind. Moreover, I want to say to you that as a community, state, nation, and world, we are not who we claim to be, but who we prove ourselves to be over a given period of time. And if we are a liar, time will tell. And if we are a racist or a hater, time will tell. And our righteous and holy God already know. So you are only fooling yourselves. Again, the Ghetto Free Press. I'm George Foster Ryan.